Earners, listen up. That's right. Breaking news alert. The price of EYL University is changing. That's right. Effective May 1st, the price of EYL University is changing. So what does that mean for you? That means you need to head over to earnyourleisureuniversity.com right now. Use the code EARNERS, EARNERS, and you can still receive 60% off. It brings your total to $149 for the year. That's roughly about $12 a month. And what are we giving you? We're giving you access to the library of all the EYL University webinars and seminars, access to our private Facebook real estate group, and exclusive content and offers that is only for our members. So don't wait, don't hesitate, don't play yourself, reward yourself. Head over to EYL University right now, use that code, and join the fastest growing community in the financial world. See you on the other side, y'all. Peace.
All right, guys, welcome back. Earn Your Leisure. You got a very special episode.
Yeah, EYL, we back again.
Yeah, for sure. So the thing with Earn Your Leisure is that we try to cover every area of business and finance. And there's always something. Just when you think you covered something, there's always something else to cover. Yeah. So today's going to be something that we haven't covered at all yet.
I mean, it's like one of them topics that we never even think about, really. I scratch my head thinking about it. I'm like, oh, damn, yeah. Nah, there's money in that. Okay.
Yeah, it's money. It's money in everything. Right. For sure. So we have a very special guest today, Chantel Calloway. First and foremost, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So blessed to be here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
yes. So the creator of Rhyme Antics, which is a board game based around hip hop that promotes literacy, correct?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Education all the way.
Yeah. So she's been all over the place. I see you have Black Enterprise right up. Congratulations. Yeah. The Breakfast Club. And then you was on Brilliant Idiots as well, right?
I was, yeah.
Oh, you're moving.
Shout out to Charlamagne.
Now this is the full circle now. You made you on Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah. Always wanted to be here, so thank
That's
you.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's a really big deal. She's one of only, I did some research, one of only 3 Black board game designers to make it to big box.
No, I'm one of 3 Black toy company owners to ever get into. But Lonnie Johnson is an inventor. And Dr. Johnson has a game company, but then I have a game as well.
Yeah, Lonnie Johnson of Super Soaker fame.
Soaker.
Oh, we had a bunch of those.
Yeah. And then we're going to talk about your Target deal that you just closed on.
Big time. Big time.
Amazing.
Yeah, for sure. So,
2020 has been great so far.
Yeah, it's going to keep rolling.
So, we'll back up a little bit. All right. So, what made you want to do, first of all, can you just explain briefly, like, what exactly is the game, like, in detail?
Absolutely. So Rhyme Antics is a dope party game. It's also a classroom game. And so it's a vocabulary game inspired by hip hop where you have to rap in proper English. So you have to spit bars in proper English, and 2 teams rap battle in like a cipher setting. Mm-hmm. And it's like facilitated by what you call the scorekeeper, who kind of is like the MC between the 2 teams battling. Mm-hmm. But you just got spit bars in proper English while you listen to these music instrumentals. It's really fun, but it's very challenging because it makes you think and use your brain, which is something a lot of us aren't doing these days.
Yeah, so you could bring this into the classroom.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, okay. A lot of teachers are using it just to engage the kids. I actually created a curriculum around the game, and I teach literacy programming at Boys and Girls Clubs.
Oh, nice. Is your background in education? Do you have any?
No, it's not. I was a scholar like in school. I did very well in school, and I always was an avid reader, and I always had like an affection with like words. I love words. I loved vocabulary. It was like my favorite subject in school.
Nice.
And then I'm a hip hop head, so
we got that in common.
yes, I'm a huge hip hop head. So lyrical geniuses really fascinate me and inspire me, and so I created the game for the inner rapper in all of us because I have no bars.
So the game is mostly based to help English, right?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
And okay, so what was the process of actually getting a game up and running? Because a lot of times people have ideas in their head, and it could be a variety of different things, but it's one thing to have an idea, and it's another thing to actually bring it to market and actually have a product. So what's the process from, okay, I think this is a good idea, to where you're at now?
So first it was like an idea that sat in my family for about 7 years. My dad came up with this call and response rap game during Thanksgiving. And we as a family were just really tired of playing like Taboo and Catchphrase, right? Because we've been playing those games for years. And they're fun, but, you know, we just was tired of it. So my dad, who's an amazing creative genius, kind of came up with this call and response rap game. And every time we got together thereafter as a family, we always wanted to play the game because we have so much fun playing it, right? And then, so it sat in the family for a long time. And I believe it was when Words with Friends came out. And I started to pay attention to like the game market in the industry. And I saw how much obscene amounts of money that they were making, like Words with Friends. And I was
How
like,
much money were they making?
oh my God, they were making like $250,000 a day just off downloads. And
What's Words with Friends?
You don't remember that?
No.
That game was crazy. It was like Scrabble.
It's Scrabble. It's
on
a
your phone.
digital version of Scrabble.
Yeah, I still remember my high score on the word. It was like 269 points.
Yeah, it's like it was really fun and engaging. You can play it on cross platforms with your friends. And I was like, but wait, this is just Scrabble in a digital version. And then they came out with Draw Something, which was Pictionary as a digital version, and that was killing them. And then, you know, it was really when the games online, mobile app games really started to bubble, and I started like thinking, like, okay, all these games that are coming out are really just reiterations of things that already exist. There was nothing really new. And then I started researching board games, and I saw that everything had kind of just been around for a really, really long time. There was no real innovation until I believe the game Cards Against Humanity came out. And then you saw like a kind of a resurgence of like this fun party game. And so it's interesting because the board game market specifically has been on a steady increase over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So when people, it's a very viable market.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like when especially this generation thinks games, they think in video games. But you looked at it and said, nah, I'm going to go in this route. And I think one of the reasons for the rise, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like, that brings families together.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not like the Thanksgiving thing. Like, everybody has a game night.
Right.
So to have something like this where you tie hip hop in is super dope.
Right. And so, you know, I used to be an event planner prior to, you know, starting this journey. And that's really one of my passions, is like to see people have a good time together. And then the learning aspect of it was like, okay, so what's better than having people laugh and learn at the same time? That's pretty dope, especially in an era where, like, you know, cell phones are really corrupting our brains and we're not really learning. Our ability to retain information is really decreasing. And so, like, you know, you have to actually tap into your cognitive skills and your fluid intelligence and think. And so it becomes challenging, but it's really fun at the same time.
I mean, we got to use proper English. That's pretty challenging.
So all right. So you come with the idea. It's in the family, but what's the next steps to actually make it into the business?
So it's crazy. So it was just an idea. Then it was a Word document that I just like started to, this is God working through me, okay? Because I have no experience whatsoever. I went to school for marketing. But as far as game development, I went and bought maybe like 10 games, all different games. And I just kind of laid them out, looked at the how to play, the methodology. And then I just started researching like how to create a game. And the thing is, whatever you want to create, like, there's so much information online. There's really no excuse of why someone can't do something because everything's online. You know, a general blueprint of how to do it, and then you just modify as you go. But really, it was like the methodology on the how to play, and then I just started putting together, and then I started organizing these focus groups with just friends and family, different people, whoever would have me. Like, I was just calling people. So I organized over a period of like 3 years, maybe like 70 focus groups. I would just host house parties. I would crash parties. I would bring the game. I would ask people if they would play. The crazy thing is, it did not look like this. It was in a shoebox. The packaging was terrible. The music, I had it on this big, bulky microphone thing.
In my mind, I'm drawing this up.
Yeah, it was
here comes
crazy.
Chantel with a shoebox and a speaker inside.
Yes.
So this is why your event planning comes into play, right? Like you're organizing people with a prototype. Were they looking at you like you crazy?
Never.
Never?
They were always really receptive. And I mean, I believe that's one of the things that made me keep going. Like, I have something because I would really, you know, people had a great time. And so they'd be like, you really had something. And then I would have them fill out a little survey. Like, what did you think? What would you change? What would you, And so at the end of like 3 years, as I kept going, I had a big stack of what I needed to change, and I would just modify it as I go. And then when I moved to New York in 2014, so I moved to New York with the sole purpose of like just growing the business and really taking it to the next level, because I had hit a ceiling in Boston, where I'm from, and I just felt like I couldn't grow there. So I was like, this is a game for hip hop. I'm moving to New York, the birthplace of hip hop.
Home of hip hop.
Yeah, I was like, I got to go to New York because that's where it's going to blow. And so I moved here, and just things started happening for me. So it's really been a great blessing. So anyway, I was still in prototype phase when I moved to New York. And then, I moved here with absolutely nothing. I don't know if other people heard my story, but I moved here with, I left a very comfortable situation in Boston to move here with nothing. I was like, stayed in a shelter, and I found this really dope accelerator program that had all these different pitch competitions, and they, prepared me for the pitch competitions. And I won all of them, and so I was able to get some seed capital to hire a professional packaging designer, and she just so happened to have worked for Hasbro.
Can we talk about what a pitch competition is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so like, how do you find them? Like, what is the preparation for it? What is that like going through it?
So pitch competitions are everywhere. You can go on like, for any entrepreneur trying to like just see if their business has any feasibility, there are meetups in every state. So meetup.com, that's where I discovered these different like pitch meetups, and there'll always be investors there who will give you feedback, just like Shark Tank, little mini Shark Tank events in every state. And like I said, meetup.com, you can find them right on there. That's where I found them. And the way you prepare is you watch a lot of Shark Tank. That's what I did. No, honestly,
Yeah.
Watching Shark Tank is really what prepared me.
So
for
a lot of nights in the mirror, like preparing the speech.
Yes, and just, there's a lot of information online, especially now after Shark Tank's been so successful. Like, had the perfect pitch, how short it should be, how quick, how quick you have to engage, and just, tell the investor the problem you're trying to solve, and why you're the solution. And so my angle was, there's nothing like this. Board games are recession proof, like all those things that are unique about the product. And I won 3 of them, and it was just super dope. And like I said, I was able to get enough money to...
How much money did you get?
Over $20,000.
Okay.
I won 3 different competitions, and it was cumulative of about $20,000. And I was able to hire a professional packaging developer who worked for Hasbro. And then I had this professional packaging. And then the next step was I did an Indiegogo campaign. Because I was sure at that point, like, I officially have a product I can sell and bring to the marketplace, and I know it will sell.
Can you just explain what Indiegogo is?
Yeah, so Indiegogo is like Kickstarter. It's a crowdfunding campaign where you test out your idea or your product to see if there's a need for it, like if people will actually buy it, people you don't know, because we know your family and friends are going to support you.
Maybe.
Right. And a lot of times friends and family can be biased because they love you, but this is for people who don't know you, who actually are really might be interested in the product you have, and it really tests to see, to give you some successful traction. And that's what it did. So I just want to really speak to people about crowdfunding campaigns. They're really, really important. That's really the first step before you go out there and put a bunch of money into something you don't know is going to work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you got to organize a campaign. There's a lot of planning that goes into that. I mean, it took me maybe like 8 months to prepare for that, of just gathering people's information, all the people I focus group tested. I had all their emails and just different events. I had people networking. I had saved so much, maybe like 2,000 names. And so that was really like the core of my
Indiegogo campaign.
Indiegogo
so
campaign.
I like the idea that you said that you did the focus groups. Going back to that, because that's something that even like major corporations do, but it's like you gotta be creative as an entrepreneur. So to start out small and to say, okay, well, I have friends and family in the area, and I'll just have like house parties. You see that like with jewelry stuff like that, and it's like you're actually testing it, and hopefully you get like honest feedback, and then you can kind of tweak it. That's people pay millions of dollars for market research. That's what it is, market research.
Right.
So and that's important too. A lot of times people have an idea and they just go to the public with it, but it's not tested yet.
Right.
So you're testing it in a small sample size before you're actually taking it. And then I like the idea that you said that you kept the data. We talk about data a lot.
Yeah.
Kept the data of everybody. So now when you finally have it worked out, you can reach out to those people to see if they want to support financially.
Right.
Because you know them and they've already, tried the product out. So they'll probably be more receptive to financially support than somebody that doesn't know it, have never heard of it before.
Right.
Yeah, now, do you have a team, or are you doing this all independent? Because this sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. Sometimes I think back of like how far I've come and how much work I've actually done. Because people are like, you deserve, the success you're having now. You've worked really hard. And I'm just like, a lot of times it didn't feel like work because it's my passion. So it's felt like, just good. But when I think about how much work I've actually, like those years of those focus groups, having no money, all the chicken I baked for those those house parties, shout out to my sister who helped me with the chicken. But, just I've put so much work and time, sweat equity into it, and my own capital, obviously. But what was the question? I'm sorry.
So how much money were you able to raise from Indiegogo?
$11,000. And so I pre-sold. My goal was 10. That's always kind of a good place to start, 10,000. A lot of people see these crowdfunding campaigns who have like raised millions of dollars. And that's like, they put so much money into the marketing for those things. But a good rule of thumb is kind of start at the 10,000 level. And again, having that data, a core, list of people who will probably support the product is really good. And then just the right commercials, a lot of things that go into it, the planning process. So never just think you're going to throw up a video and a bunch of people, the money's going to come falling in a windfall.
From Indiegogo.
Correct.
So you had to make a commercial.
Yes, had to make a commercial.
How did you do that? What was the process for doing that?
I hired a videographer.
Did you write the treatment?
I wrote everything. You guys can
Chantel
check
doing
it out.
She's doing everything.
I'm a Wonder Woman.
She's doing it all.
So you can check it out. It's still up on YouTube, but I organized people. I did this scene where I crashed a game night and I took the cards out their hand. And I was like, nah, y'all need this. It was so corny, but it was funny. And it really got a response out of people. So I ended up pre-selling 300 units of the game based on just one prototype that I had.
So on Indiegogo, it's like a million different things. So how do you get placed?
You place yourself. You just upload your video in the
as far as all right, I go to Indiegogo. I assume the most popular, the ones with the most traction is gonna be on the first page. Or do it you type in game, or is it under categories, stuff like that? How does that work?
Categories.
It's based off of categories.
Yep, it's board games, then there's video games, and they have toys, and they have projects, they have it's basically what's that, GoFundMe? But for businesses. So you could do a GoFundMe too. People have done that, but Indiegogo specifically and Kickstarter are where most products launch. But the difference between Kickstarter, which is way more well known than Indiegogo, is that Kickstarter has an all money in rule where you have to raise that fundraising goal or all the money goes back to the backers. Even if you're $1 under your goal, all the money will go back if you didn't raise your goal. Indiegogo, you get to keep all the money you raise.
And they become equity partners, right?
No.
They're not? It's not?
No, not at all.
Just a percentage?
There are a couple of other crowdfunding, I believe, sites that do take equity, but not Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
So it's just support. Did they get anything for it?
They do get a percentage, yes.
Okay.
A percentage of the game?
They get a percentage of the total amount that you raise.
Okay, so if you raise 10,000 and they take 3% or something like that.
No. I'm talking about
they get 8%. Indiegogo took 8%.
The people that pay. they're just paying just to support, or they get a product?
They actually get, so there's different levels. Sorry, I skipped that part. So there's different levels of backing packages that you offer to your people. So it might, for $5, you get a thank you. For, $1, you get a shout out on whatever. And then you could get 1 game. Some people got 2 games and a t-shirt. The $1,000 level was 4 games, and then I would give a small donation to the Boys and Girls Club. So it had a philanthropic edge to it. And so that's how you design your packages to best intrigue your backers, I guess.
Okay, so you raised the $10,000. You got a $20,000 originally, which helped you. Then you raised an additional $10,000.
Yes.
So now you're like $30,000 that you raised.
Yep. So
what happens after that?
I'm living in New York and I'm blowing through that bread.
Blowing money fast.
So what happened after that? So after that, so I had a rough time. So after the campaign was over, now it was manufacturing, right? Mm-hmm. And so finding the manufacturer. So if you've ever manufactured a product or tried to get a product developed in the U.S., the pricing compared to China is like a huge difference, right? So for me to produce this product here in the U.S. would be about $15 a unit versus China where it's $5. Right. So I had to find a manufacturer in China who was like, and I was recommended. Thank God I had like a kind of an agent at the time who was trying to help me shop the game for a licensing deal. And so he knew people, and he introduced me to a great manufacturer in China, and I just got really lucky. But I did everything, which is crazy, via email. Never had one conversation with these people to come up with the proper specs and everything I wanted. And it was really seamless dealing with them.
It was a quick process?
Yeah,
okay.
It was very quick. They send you a sample, and then you go back and forth about, the specifics you want, and then you come up with the final product. It took a whole year, though, to get the Indiegogo packages to my people, though, because this game has so much copy in it that we kept finding mistakes, and every time I found a mistake, I would have to stop the production process, have my graphic designer fix it, resend. So it was that was a real tedious nightmare. And so we finally kind of got it right. And you know what? Sometimes I still find little errors once in a while, and I'll just fix it the next time. I'm just being honest. Little tiny ones. I'm very detail oriented, but it's this game has over 2,000 words in it, alone. And then just all that. But these are the things a lot of people don't know. There's plenty of products on shelves. There's little...
That's the updated version. We got the updated version.
Right. Yeah, this is perfect now. So, anything you get now is perfect.
So when you first started selling, you were selling it direct to consumer online or
I was direct to consumer online. Yep. And then I started immediately going after stores. So I got into a couple of stores in New Jersey, I think was my first retailer. And then I was in Boston, and then, now I'm in 45 stores now.
So when you go to stores, how does that work? Is it on consignment, or they have to buy it from you?
They buy it from me, case order. 10 units is the minimum. And, I really try to push 2 units on a store. Mm-hmm. But, you could, when you have when you're shopping it to chain stores Newberry Comics, who's one of my biggest chain stores right now, they'll buy a couple of cases per store. So that's when the money starts to come in. When they're selling, and they're going through them and they're reordering. That's
now you're shipping those out yourself?
Correct.
So you're the distributor.
I'm the everything. I'm the Wonder Woman.
So you're getting it from China. Mm-hmm. What's the turnaround time for that?
45 days.
45 days. Yeah. And it was okay.
Yeah. So let me tell you, this last Christmas, we were late on getting it in. So for holiday, you have to have your orders in to China by June in order to get it here on time for October, because everybody's shipping at that time. And so this past year I missed the mark, and so I had to have the games shipped to California, picked up by a truck, and transported here to Jersey in order to get it here in 14 days. Because if it ships to the east side to the East Coast from China, because it has to go around Africa, it takes a full month to do that.
Oh, wow.
So how is it now with the coronavirus?
Yeah, I'm thinking now, like...
Yeah, so that's funny you ask. I think a lot of companies are going to be affected by it, but my manufacturer, who I just touched base with a couple of days ago, said that they're fine so far.
Okay.
Yeah, but, you know, I can imagine if it really gets out of control that it might be a problem for some other business owners.
Yeah, I mean, if it does, it is doing manufacturer here in the States an option for you, or just going to try to...
I can't even think of that. No.
So that brings up a broader point, because a lot of times people, especially like the political season and like Apple, things of that nature. I remember a few years ago, and like it's like bring jobs back to America, produce stuff in America. And I remember, I forgot who it was, but I think it was with Tim Cook or one of these guys, and he was saying impossible. Like we can't because the cost in China and Asia, it's not even possible.
Right.
Like to make a profit in America is so much higher. Yeah, that's true. On your level.
Absolutely. So I mean, you know, at 5,000 units, I order these. I'm paying like, you know, $4 landed here
per unit.
Delivered. Yeah.
Shipping and everything.
Shipping and everything, yeah. So if I were to get this produced here, like I told you, the starting price is $15 per unit versus $4.
Not including shipping.
Not including shipping.
So you're looking at like $20.
So I would have
unit.
to, yeah. And so I would have to charge my customer, you know, $50.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
Make
Like
profit.
the price of the game's gonna have to go up.
Right. Which no one's gonna buy the game for $50. So, you know,
it's gonna be a tough sell.
Yeah. So I feel bad for whoever may be affected, but let's hope it gets contained and we don't have these issues.
Yeah. Well, it's something, like I said, something think on a broader scale too for business. It's like we have to find a way to compete, because it's not gonna happen, and more products is just gonna be made in Asia and China, because it just makes sense financially. I mean, it just is what it is.
You're trying to make a profit.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a no-brainer. All right. Well, in the next segment, we're going to talk about the business behind gaming industry. It's $1 billion industry, so
yeah, man.
I think
we've all been part of it.
Yeah, it's something that people should be aware of. All right. So we're going to talk some about the business, but I had a question. So yeah, you said that big box. What is big box? What is that?
Big box are, you know, your Targets, Walmarts, Barnes and Nobles, the huge department stores.
Big retail stores.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's only 3 black game makers that are in?
So, no. So when it comes to the board game category, I'm the first black female board game inventor with a provisional patent. So I've gotten some backlash with people saying, no, my homegirl invented a game and you ain't the first black. And I'm like, okay, well, I've never seen her game. And if you did not do the work to get it in stores, to get a patent, to do everything you need to do to get the exposure and to make it a real product, then I'm sorry, we're going to just argue about that.
I mean, I'm like thinking about that, like the intellectual property piece of it.
Right.
How long did that process take, and what exactly did you trademark and make yours?
Yeah, so I have 3 protections on this. So it's copywritten. That means every single word you see has been copywritten, submitted to the database of copywritten literary pieces.
You have to do that individually?
Well, the how to play.
No, okay. I'm saying like not each
and the
word.
cards.
Okay.
So all the cards in there and the how to play document.
Gotcha.
That's copywritten. I own it. My name is on it. You can't plagiarize or duplicate it.
Okay.
And then there's a provisional patent, and so there's 2 types of patents you can get on a product. It's a utility patent or a design patent. And so a provisional patent is the first step, which protects you for a full year. It's very cheap for a small business with not a big budget. It's like a poor man's patent, basically. And you can keep renewing your provisional patent year after year after year for a very small price, just to protect your invention. And so I recommend that to everybody. And this is something like I did all on myself because I like to read. And so, you know, a lot of times we waste a lot of money paying folks to do things where we can really just do it ourselves if we just read. And so that's why I am a huge advocate for literacy, because a lot of service businesses make money off like people's laziness to not want to read, you know? And so it's provisionally patented, it has a copyright, and it has a trademark.
So what's provisionally patent mean?
That's the temporary one that you have to renew every single year.
Okay.
And so, like, I don't know if you watch Shark Tank, but you'll often hear people say, it's patent pending, which is the same thing. It's a provisional patent. Even on products, sometimes you'll see patent pending, and that just means they have a provisional patent on the product.
Does it ever become permanent?
Yes, it can if you want to. And that costs a lot more money to turn it in. And it's very long. It can take like 5 to 7 years.
To make it permanent?
To make it permanent, yeah. I don't know why it takes that long. I guess they go through the whole database to make sure it's really, you know, unique in your product. But a provisional patent really is fine to protect your product.
How much does a provisional patent cost?
$65.
That's not.
Yeah, it's nothing.
You did it yourself or you had a lawyer?
Yeah, no, I did it myself.
Okay.
So you read the law book.
The trademark also?
Yes, I did the trademark myself. And people should know also, when you're trademarking a product, there's a state level trademark, and then there's a national trademark that's permanent. And so I have a national trademark through the government, and it gets published in what's called the Gazette. And that's where like any company can just type your name in the database and it comes up.
What about globally? So like you said the national, obviously, so like somebody in London decides to come up with this.
It's not protected overseas. No, it's not.
Don't try that, y'all.
You're right. Don't try it.
We coming to London. We're going to be in the stores.
For sure. And I do worry about that, honestly, because, you know, I made my Chinese manufacturer sign an NDA. I don't know. People are like, oh, that won't even protect you. If they want to do it, they'll do it. But it's like I made them sign an NDA saying you will not, you know, duplicate this.
Yeah, we see that happen a lot in clothes for sure. Like there are people who create clothes here, and we don't trademark it in every country, and it pops up in another country. And it's like, oh, that's mine. Well, we'll protect it in that country.
Yeah, I think clothes are a lot easier than a product. But if I see this game bootleg selling on Canal, we got a problem.
Canal Street, shout out to Canal Street.
So you got to deal with Target, right?
I did.
Can you talk about that?
Big box.
Yeah, so excited. So, Target just committed last week to 400 store test this June. And it's really exciting for me because, as I mentioned, I am one of 3 black toy company in the toy space who have ever made it to big box. So the Lonnie Johnson, the Dr. Lisa Williams, she had a doll line. I think I said games, but she has a doll line. Lonnie Johnson invented the Super Soaker, and I invented this dope game. And so it's really exciting. One of the things I spoke to Black Enterprise about was like the fact that, you know, Black-owned businesses occupy less than 1% of the space in big box. And it's like, are we just not, you know, trying to get in there, or are we being shut out, or like, and I really don't know the answer. I just know when I started developing the product, that was always my goal, was to get in big box and achieve that. Big
box. So you said it's a 2-year process, but it has a lot to do with when you submit in to be a part of the big box company, right?
Yeah, so I won a pitch competition with Target, and they flew me down to Dallas, and I got to pitch the whole Target team, and they really loved it. And so it's a deal 2 years in the making that just closed. And so I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity. Just like when I walk in Target, and because I used to go in Target in the developing process and just stand in front and manifest and be like, my game's gonna be on these shelves. I swear to God, it's crazy.
I would just start putting it up on the shelf.
I did that. I have pictures back in the day on my Facebook of me putting the game on the shelf and saying, game nights, you know, next big game.
Yo, y'all try that new game on that shelf, yo?
That's dope. That's right. Manifest. So how does that work as far as like the distribution? They it's the same thing as a store. They just buy in bulk more, or how's that work? They
buy it in bulk from a distributor. So I have to work through a distributor. Big boxes don't buy directly from you. You have to work with a distributor who knows all the compliances and the shipment, and it's like all this paperwork process.
And then the distributor gets a portion.
Correct.
Okay. So is it still getting shipped from China? Same factory or a different factory now?
No, same
factory, except for now it's just you're not involved in that process anymore. It's going from the factory to the distributor.
Correct.
Okay. And then the distributor is distributing it to Target.
Correct.
Okay. So how do they do? Do they like see like how it does that first, or they give you a commitment that we're going to buy this amount first and then?
What do you mean? Do they see
like
that?
All right? They say like we want to buy 5,000 games, right? Do they do that all up front, or they say okay, we buy the first 1,000? See how it goes.
Oh, got what you're saying. No, yeah. So they submit a PO for a certain quantity, and you have to deliver. And then after the delivery is when you get paid. So it's not even like you get a check right after the purchase order. And some companies are like 90 days, but I think Target is like 120 days.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, big boxes. The bigger you get, the longer it takes for you to get your money. Ain't that something?
So what's the success? Like, what would be a success as far as like 70% of the games sell? 80? Like, what's looked at?
We're going for 100. I mean, they have to be moving quickly in order for them to reorder, and that's the point. You want them to reorder quickly, and so what happens is your distributor keeps a large quantity on deck, so that when the order sells out from Target, they can just fulfill quickly.
Gotcha.
So the distributor buys from me a larger quantity than what Target is purchasing, so that they always have enough to replenish.
What about licensing in the toy industry? I know there's like the big four, like Hasbro, Mattel, Lego, and who else?
So in the game space,
is that something you ever thought about?
Well, yeah, I've actually been offered 2 licensing deals that I turned down this past summer in 2019. The big game companies are Spin Master is actually second to Hasbro, and they offered me a licensing deal, and I did not take it because I'm a new product, and my sales weren't extraordinary enough for me to have a lot of leverage with that negotiation. And so and I just believe in myself that I can do it. But when in the beginning, a licensing deal is not going to be lucrative because they're totally just like trying to, I feel, take advantage. Even though they have the distribution, the worldwide distribution, they do have it, and it would have been a great opportunity if the numbers worked. But I'm somebody who like believes in myself and my abilities, so I believe like I can sell 1 million units on my own, and so that's what. Then I'll have more negotiating power.
The leverage gonna be different then,
right?
Yeah.
Nice. So, what are your thoughts as far as some people will say like everything should be got direct to consumer? Because obviously, when you get bigger, like you said, now you got a distribution, you got to split some profits with them. So, was that something that you thought about, or it was like a no-brainer once you Target? It's like, I got to go through this.
I mean, direct to consumer is great, and it really is the bread and butter because that's where your margins are at. You know what I mean? Like you make the most selling direct. Cutting out all those people, but the big boxes where you get 50,000 units at one time. I mean that's crazy. So I like to spread it. You know what I mean? I like to walk into a store and see my product in a store. Like I did that. That's us right there because it's for the culture, it's for the community, it's a Black-owned product. So it means a lot for me to be able to see that and do that and show other people that it can be done.
So if you sign to like one big box, is it like exclusive? Like, can you go to Walmart now, or you can only go to Target?
I can.
Okay.
There's no exclusivity in it?
No.
Dope. Just hit a lick with the box. So this has been a 10-year journey.
Yeah.
Not always ups, a lot of downs, and a few times you thought like I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. You want to talk about some of the pitfalls you've had?
Yeah.
As she reminisces.
Yeah, there've been a lot. So there was 4 times I can think of where I was really ready to quit, like completely give up. I like shelved the game. I was just like done because 10 years is a long time, and even though I've always had the passion for it, really working with the kids is really what has kept me going. because my program I mentioned that I run at the Boys and Girls Club when I work with kids, it's just, the kids are my happy place. I love children. So playing with the kids and seeing them, engaged and getting excited and, come to my program and be excited to play and learn, that's really rewarding for me. But I would say the deepest time, like when I was really going to give up last time was last year. And that was in 2019, right before Nipsey Hussle died. I had just finished my real estate classes. So I was going to be a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm done with this, because the year before I had some issues with inventory again. I didn't get my inventory was stuck in customs for 2 months, and I didn't get it out. And it was just some random thing. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. It was just like some random thing. Someone didn't do their job, and I actually had to go in there and do their job for them and to get my shit released. And I was like just done because my inventory didn't get released until 2 days after Christmas. So I had missed the whole holiday.
Oh, wow.
And none of my retailers had product, and they were like, what's going on? It just made me look so bad,
Oh.
And I was just like done, because at that point too, like I've been broke for a very long time, mm-hmm. Just putting everything I have into the business and making it work. And so I was going to be a real estate agent, and I was done with the product. And I swear, like, every time I've wanted to give up, like, God will just throw me these lifelines, like, out of the blue. Like, mm-hmm. No, like, this is what you're here to do. And so Nipsey Hussle died, and I already knew who Nipsey was because I am a hip hop head, and I had heard him on like a lot of motivational stuff, but I didn't get a chance to to listen to the album. Mm-hmm. And when he died, obviously I got to listen to the album, and that album like inspired me in a whole nother level that I had never been inspired. Yeah,
classic.
That I had never been inspired, like Dedication and Young Niggas, like I mean, it's just like, I always get emotional when I think about it, because I remember like where I was at, like spiritually, how I felt, and then how the album made me just like get back on it and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm here to do this. And I met Charlemagne the God like 2 weeks later. And then, like, life has just been really great since then.
How did he's been a supporter, right?
Yeah, he's a big supporter of the game. He's helped me so much just because he believes in the product, he believes in me, and he's just been a big supporter.
How'd you meet him?
So I used to be a bartender for this catering company.
Chantel got like 7 jobs, bro. Like real estate agent, bartender,
I'm a hustler.
Event planner.
Yeah, so I was a bartender for this high-end catering company in New York, and we only, did like really 5-star events in the city. Mm-hmm. And so every event we did, there was always like celebrities there. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to take these, because they're always high profile, they always tell us we can't do certain things, because a lot of the people I work with, they're like actors and actresses, and everybody's always trying to get on, And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to bring my game to every event I work and see if something happens. So the day I met Charlemagne, it was a Radio City Hall event. I think it was like the YouTube Awards or something. And I don't even think he knows this, that I was working. Like I was working. I was a bartender. But I saw him in the bar, and I was like, yo, that's Charlemagne. I left my post. I was like, I might get fired today. I don't care. And I went downstairs, and you should have seen how many stairs. I don't know if you've ever been to Radio City or Music Hall, but there's mad steps, and I had to go all the way to the basement, back up. I ran down, got the game, came back up, and walked up on him and just like pitched him. And I was like, I really love to come on The Brilliant Idiots and talk about, I wanted to say The Breakfast Club, but I was like, he ain't gonna have me on there. I'm not that big yet, But I was like, I really would love to come talk about my product. And he was like, okay, yeah. And I was like, Just
Yeah, that easy.
And you know, I've met a lot of celebrities before, so I didn't know if he was BSing me or not. But he gave me his number like right on the spot. We exchanged personal information. I was like, oh shit, he's not playing.
He's rocking with you.
You know, he's rocking with me, and that was like so real, and I just really appreciate him for that, because after that interview aired, I sold like 400 units the next day. And then every day after that, it just started trickling down. But I mean, that interview alone with nothing else got me through like the whole summer with sales, consistent sales. And it's just crazy the power of like what an interview can do.
Yeah.
And the power of his influence.
Yeah, and that's a great story, because it's like a lot of times people are scared, or they just, they psych themselves out in their head like this person's not going to want to listen to me or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like worst possible case scenario, you're back to where you originally started. And it's like they just brush you off, and it's like, all right, but you would have never spoken to them anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But best possible case scenario could be life changing.
Man, and it really was. And I really encourage people, just, the fear is what prevents us from always moving on things or doing things. And I know one of my biggest characteristics, one of the best ones that has gotten me to where I am, is I'm very fearless. Like, I'll do
apparently
yeah. So I used to direct that energy in the wrong way, but now I direct it in the right way, and I just I go for it. And I've hardly ever been told no in my life. So, and I come from a place of yes, so I always believe someone's going to tell me yes. And
there you go. So you are also the publisher of this game. Now, we spoke to Ash Cash, out to our brother Ash Cash, about publishing a book. What's the difference? What is the process of publishing an actual game?
So publishing really isn't that much different from like licensing. If someone offers you a licensing deal, publishing deal, they're all like vehicles for another company to get your product out to the masses. But when you self-publish, it's just you're doing everything on your own. So I'm the marketer. I'm the everything. I'm the CEO, I'm the CFO, I'm the COO, I'm all that for the game. And so I don't really need anybody like that. I do need a team, and so I'm working on that right now, like a marketing team to kind of, we're learning the digital marketing and the customer acquisition and the conversion rates and all that science right now. And so I'm building a company. I self-publish. I don't need anybody.
So can other board game developers come under your publishing company, or how's that work?
I'm not at that point yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not offering that service yet.
Gotcha.
Damn, I think you might have just gave me
Light bulb went off.
Right.
We trying to send you some business.
Right. Thank
All right, so you got the business side of it. So in the last segment, we're going to talk about the scaling model. We're going to go into depth about the actual inner workings of the game. All right, so, okay. So can we talk about the game in a little detail? So it's a board game.
It is.
Right? But it uses hip-hop lyrics, like from like rappers?
No, it's just random kind of phrases that are kid-friendly. Or if you're playing with adults, you can, make it adult version, which it always goes there. But so basically there's these 3 levels of difficulty: easy, intermediate, and intellectual. And you get a kickoff rhyme verse. So the 2 teams battle each other. You get a kickoff rhyme verse, and it might say like, I like to meditate or something. And then your team has 60 seconds, and each person on the team has to freestyle their own bar, like one creative sentence. The last word has to rhyme with meditate. So meditate is like intellectual level. That's an example.
That's tough. I'm thinking like, yo, come on.
It's really not though.
Meditate, hate, wait, rate.
See?
I mean, I'm a hip hop head.
Right. So you already got it. So it's a rhyming game, And so, yeah. So it's a rap cipher game. There's a microphone. There's an app you download that plays the music instrumentals, or you can go to our YouTube page and there's a bunch of instrumentals there. And you guys are just basically freestyle rapping. But the catch is no slang. You have to use a proper English word, and you get points.
That's tough. So if you use slang, what, like, how does that, you disqualify?
I mean, you just don't get a point.
Okay.
But people often do it, and it's what makes the game fun, because then it's like you get into the debating, like, that wasn't a word, and it's the drinking game version of it, where if you don't hit the rhyme word, you got to take a shot. It's like really fun. But the beauty of the product is it's very versatile, because it's an adult party game, or it's for kids in the family, or teachers can use it in their classroom. It's great for artist development. It's like a great corporate icebreaker. It's just really dynamic.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, when you said in the classroom, I'm thinking, like, especially like on Fridays, I'm in elementary school, like Friday afternoons, it's just like game time, like, especially in the lower grades. But like, this is definitely somewhere where they can use some of the words, and even teaching spelling words, right? Like, after you use the word, like, trying to spell it. Like, I think this is a great idea. Are you creating deals with school districts, or is that something?
So that's like this year I'm really focused on the educational sector and like that revenue stream, because over the holiday I had 2 principals order like bulk orders for their school and talk to me about how like they get a budget and they can order like, a whole school district can order cases of games. And it was, I always knew it was there, but I'm really paying attention to it now, like, because it's a unique product that every teacher wants for downtime in their classroom.
There's definitely a budget. Like, I see it every year. It's the same games that come in. It's like Shoots and Ladders, Monopoly. It's the same games every year. You know what happens to the game? It gets destroyed, and they just reorder it.
Right.
But if they do like something like this, it's going to be obviously like, the teacher can keep this on their desk.
Right.
Or in their desk. And it's like, we can use this all the time.
And the kids will actually request to play it.
Exactly.
No one's requesting Shootings and Ladders. No, so I'm joking.
Nah, it's a fact. No, nobody's playing.
It's dope too.
Hungry Hippo, none of that.
Lyricists back in the days, at least, they used to like actually read, like, to improve their rhyming skills. Like, I remember, like, I think Nas or somebody was talking about, I used to read the dictionary to learn different words.
Jay too, yep.
But wordplay. So a lot of times people look at rap and it's like, now a lot of rappers don't really do that probably, but originally
the successful ones do, though. Like, I watched every Breakfast Club interview, and I think like Lil DaBaby was like the last one I watched, and he was just talking about how much he reads, and you can hear it in his lyrics. You can hear who reads and who doesn't. You know what I mean? Because a great lyricist is very smart, is very intelligent. Like, there's definitely like intellect behind.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some lyricists out there, J. Cole, and
you gave us your top. You didn't hear her top 5. You want to give us your top 5 real quick?
Oh, my top 5.
No pressure.
Yeah, I'm good, because it will never change.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Give them 5. No order. Your top 5. Go.
No order. Well, Hove is number 1. Nas, Pac, Black Thought, and the RZA, the Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard. You got Raekwon the Chef and METHOD.
So the whole Wu-Tang Clan?
The whole Wu-Tang.
The whole Wu-Tang. He said I couldn't get that, but I mean, it's the whole Wu-Tang. I can't.
All right, so you 90s.
Yeah, she's an 80s baby girl in the 90s. Yeah.
Good.
For sure.
Good. But yeah, I mean, I think some rappers, like I said, the J. Cole's of the world, the Kendrick Lamar's of the world.
Absolutely.
Where they lyricists, they take pride. Even Drake takes pride in what they put out.
Those guys are in my top 10 for
top
sure.
10? Jay Electronica is another guy.
Oh my God. I wish we could hear more from him.
It's coming. Album's coming.
I heard.
I got the countdown on my phone. When he put the 40-day tweet, I put a countdown.
I'm so excited about that.
We got 27 days left.
Because that Exhibit C is one of my favorite songs.
Exhibit A and C, I think, are just incredible.
So it's dope. Yeah. It's like, even a platform for the podcast, a lot of the stuff that we always use, like hip-hop lyrics and stuff like that. So I think it's dope to actually tie in culture and music with learning,
right?
Because they kind of go hand in hand. Like I said, I mean, it's gotten a little away from that now with music. You could just make up a word if you want, but I mean, that's the reality.
I know it is.
But
and
you know,
if it gets popular, they actually induct it into the encyclopedia. For real, it's crazy.
Look at my dad.
So
dab a.
Look at my dad. Yep.
I mean, but that's part of the culture
I like,
too.
It's part of it.
Right. It's like it's a word now in the dictionary. Right. So
bling, bling
I'm not even mad about that. But I mean, just like when you're just not even making a word, just like mumbling. Really, that's what mumble. Like, you could just sonic sounds, which is cool. I mean, it's a form of music, I guess, but it's not like you're not going to learn too much from just sonic sounds people making with their.
Yeah, we learned a lot through the music, man. Like I tell everybody, like, Shotty only talked in rhyme for like, I feel like all throughout high school. That's all he did was talk in rhyme. Like if you ain't know the lyrics, then you had no idea what he's talking about. But you know, I know a lot of rap, so I'm like, I'm in tune with him. And I'm like, yo, this.
And with children learn through like repetition and rhyme scheme and like using music as like a platform. That's how they retain information. Like I don't know if you remember, like when we used to learn. Did you ever learn 50 Nifty United States? The song, it was like 50 Nifty United States. And then, it was the corniest song, but because it was taught in a music platform, you remembered it. You know,
you did that in Boston.
Yeah.
Nah, we from New York.
It's kind of different out there.
Shout out to Boston, though.
Shout out to
Boston.
We got a lot of support out there. Shout out to the whole New England, Providence, Boston,
Northeastern fam,
Connecticut. Yeah, everybody in the Northeast strong, for sure. We appreciate y'all. So, what's the scaling model? Like, what's the scaling idea for the game moving forward?
Well, like I said, right now we're really focused on the marketing piece, learning the science behind the digital marketing, the SEO. It's really important, but it is really a science and a process to like learn it. And I'm not really tech savvy. I'm a creator, so I'm having to learn this just so that I know what someone sells me on when I go and hire somebody to perform that duty for the business. I have to know that they know what they're doing, because you can definitely there's a lot of people who proclaim to know how to do SEO and know how to do your Google ads and the click funnels and all that, and then they really don't. So I'm someone who likes to learn a little bit and then go out there and find someone to do it. So that's a really big piece of the business, so because we can scale significantly if we do that right.
Any thoughts of going digital at some point, like having an app for Rhyme Antics?
Yeah, so there's already a app that acts as a companion to the game because it plays the music instrumentals, but in the beginning, I did want to do a full app version, like the game Words with Friends, but now I'm actually looking into making it Alexa adaptable. There's this really cool company out of London I just learned about while I've been doing some research, and they're making board games Alexa adaptable. And so I'm thinking like it would be so dope to have this as an Alexa game, kind of hosting the party in like Snoop Dogg's voice. What? Like that would be so cool. Like imagine like Snoop Dogg's voice is like hosting the party.
By the time you
party game,
gonna
right?
have the hologram pop up.
Right. Oh my God. Stop playing. That's dope.
No, that would be really dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is dope. You have ideas to make new games, or you just want to just double down on that?
I think about a new game.
I got one for you. We'll talk after.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really good at creating games just because now I know, and I have been approached by a couple of people to develop some games for them. But it's just important for me to make this one a huge success first. I do want to release future editions of it. Like I can do it in Spanish, so that will probably be an iteration I come up with. I can do it in French, and we can definitely do lots of themes.
Yeah, I've seen you with some celebrities doing the game. Who was the best at doing Rhyme Antics?
I would have to say Charlamagne.
Yeah?
Yeah, Charlamagne's just funny. He's just off top, just funny. So he's really good at it.
Dope. Well, thank you for joining us. This is a really dope episode. I'm sure people will find value out of it. Can you tell them how they can get the game, social media handles, all that stuff?
Yeah, so I am Little Miss Calloway on Instagram, LIL_MISSCALLOWAY. And I just want to let everybody know, if you have questions about the invention process, I'm always like willing to help anybody. And people hit me up all the time, and I answer questions, and I do free consulting, not consulting, but I'll guide you the best way I possibly can. It's rhymeantics.com, and it's Rhyme Antics on all social media handles, exactly how it's spelled, RHYME Antics.
Dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to everybody on patreon.com. That's our proud to pay program.
And I want to shout out SB for making this happen.
Yeah, shout out to Sean.
Oh yeah, shout out to our guy.
Shout out to Sean Bullard, man.
I appreciate
The Bullard. That is Philly's own. Shout out to Sean Bullard. That is former alumni.
The Ghost of Philly.
yeah. The Ghost of
Sean,
Philly. That was a great title. Yeah, but shout out to everybody on patreon.com. Y'all know that's our Proud to Pay program, where we offer extra services, extra episodes, transcripts, early editions of the episodes. So if some people can't wait to Tuesday, they gotta have it before, so y'all can get it there. And shout out to everybody who's supporting the merch on earnyourleisure.com. Everybody's been asking for our tracksuits. Those are up there. The university shirts are up there. The t-shirts are up there. And we got some exclusive merch for our patrons. So patrons, be on the lookout for that.
Yes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels, Apple channels. And yeah, the merch that we have on right now, actually, EYL University merch is up there. So
I gotta get me some.
for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. We gotta get you a shirt. We ran out of shirts?
I think I got some here.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a shirt for sure. So yes, thank you guys for rocking with us. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.